Guys, welcome to the Round Table Podcast.
Hey.
We're here with another pod. We just lost video. I can't see anything, Jazz, on the screen.
You can't see anything on the screen?
Well,
you can't.
But anyway,
right,
guys, we just I don't know why I was looking at the screen like I'm thinking it's a monitor. I forget that I'm doing something totally different and I'm looking at the screen. But guys, thank you for welcome you to the Round Table Podcast.
Round Table.
And guys, listen, we have here today.
That's
we
right.
have the
Lady
lovely
B. We got Lovely T.
Lovely T, Lady B.
Hey.
And yours truly, Antonio.
That's right.
RW3, I don't believe will be with us today.
Yeah.
But guys, anyhow, we still go on, we still move forward, right?
Right, that's right.
But okay, so guys, listen, how was your weekend?
How was your week? Lovely T?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I'm actually trying to think what did I do yesterday? But it was I did the grass today. I know that. So beautiful day. Oh, I went to DSW, Lady B.
Oh really?
Just to be able to walk in a store.
And
just walk in a store.
Just been able to walk in the store.
Yes. Same with us. We went to the Home Depot and it was packed out. Everybody doing their yards and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, so we did some little planting ourselves.
I like the background. I like the.
Thank you.
My lipstick is the same color as your wall.
Okay,
wow,
cool.
That's right. But I mean, it's been nice. It's been nice outside. Mm-hmm. I think our graduations, are people going forth for graduations now? Y'all know?
Oh no, I think they're doing them like virtual or outside or.
Okay.
I don't think they're doing any on-site graduations.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's true.
Well,
but a lot of people they've been opening up a lot of stuff though, everywhere.
There's been a lot of stuff opening up.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just because they open it up don't mean I'm gonna still participate though,
Right, most definitely.
I don't know how that's gonna happen right there. But I mean, let's go forth with the topic, guys.
Right.
We know that there's so much stuff going on out here. I guess we got to stay away from certain words.
Yeah,
we're gonna call it the the R word. We know what I'm talking about when people running in the street and tearing up stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a lot of stuff, a lot of words being censored.
Yeah.
And
watch some of the words that we
gotta watch some of the words we use. But I'm excited about this title though. So our title is Protest Hijacked. We've been hijacked. So the subtitle is it really white agitators causing havoc in terms of this protest and things? So we're gonna kind of get into it. We'll be discussing in several cities, African American organizers pleaded with white protesters. In some cases, they physically intervene to de-escalate tense situations. So we're gonna be talking about this. We're gonna get into this.
And there's a couple of things on the docket talking about this. Also, even talking about, do we want to talk about Bob Johnson? Is it Johnson? James? What's his name? BT founder with the $1 trillion, the $14 trillion.
Yep, that's on the agenda to talk about as well.
And then talking about, what do you guys think about Black? What is that? Bank of America.
We got Bank of America pledging $1 billion to fight racial inequality. We got Target.
Pardon? I say that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and we just got an email blast. Target, they're giving away. Is it $1 million?
No, it wasn't Target
No,
doing
Target
it, but
is
GM too.
Yeah,
You said both.
GM is also giving $1 million, I believe, towards 10 million towards inequality and things of that nature. Target, we got Bank of America, the guy from BET talked about that.
He talking about something,
And they also GoFundMe. They also have a pledge where they're trying to put money together to train officers and things with this.
Okay.
So we're gonna be kind of tapping into all of that today.
Right. But I guess go ahead, lady. Let me see. Was you gonna say something?
No, I said wonderful.
Yeah. So I guess my thing is that getting into this first topic.
Yeah, get into the first topic.
Dealing with what's going on out here in these streets. I'll just say it like that. What's going on out here in these streets?
Yeah.
About everybody just moving about and things been burnt down and then there have been even rumors. I don't know if they're rumors or not, but people have been talking about how they even think that people are setting up stuff to make things or destroying stuff.
Yeah.
Just I mean, they indicated certain people. I just can't say their name.
Yeah, we can't.
So that these people are in uniform, and they said that these people
are like setting up certain things,
breaking glass. And they even showed one video where this guy had bricks.
He was filling up the pickup truck with a whole bunch of bricks.
Yeah, a whole bunch of bricks. So I mean, it's so much going on out here. I guess we're trying to say, is it just black people out here
that's going crazy and tearing up stuff and
or is this a setup?
Is this a setup? Have we been hijacked?
I think there is some hijacking going on. That's been circulating on the different news stations and the anarchists, the white supremacists,
right.
They the way that it's been, the narrative out there is that they come in and they incite the violence. I can say the B word, right? They incite the violence. And then our young-minded folks who are already like energized kind of follow. So when by the time the news is picking it up, they've already started it and moved on, and all you see is us, walking out the stores with TVs and or pulling down the boarded doors and breaking glass and stuff. I mean, so I definitely feel like there is some hijacking going on.
That's right.
Most definitely.
Right.
Most definitely.
And it's sad. I guess my thought was, even when I was even thinking that way, to talk about individuals, is it something funny going on? Say it like this. Because my thought was like, what would make a person?
We got some good
comments. Okay, but let me say that. What would make a person just come out from? So you can't say the words, and I want to say them. It's so easy for me to say these words, but I'm trying to find the right word to say. So I'll say it like that. What would be your agenda if you came into my community? What would be your agenda if you're and you're causing havoc and chaos, mayhem in my community? What will be your reason for doing that? Especially if you are a professional. You know what I mean? You're a professional that works for whoever you work for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What would be your reason for coming into my community and causing mayhem? What would be your reason? I mean, unless there's an agenda state, because how do you gain by coming into my community and busting a window or two?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do you gain? I mean, if it's not
it's to incite violence. It's to light the match. That's what they gain. I was listening to this guy. My significant other had me listening to him. But there's and you know, I hate to call them conspiracy theorists. I know, Tone, you had to think about that, but you know, he was talking about how it's the devil and really it, you know, who's really benefiting. And so you have this world order, so to speak, or this new world order. And so what they do is in their, what do they call it? Illuminati, whatever, their private group. Yeah. They go out and they push this racism to create chaos on purpose.
Oh wow, yeah, I heard about that.
And out of the chaos comes the new world order kind of thing. So I've heard some really interesting, I'm gonna say interesting, narratives, that are kind of saying like, you know, hey guys, you know, step back and really look at this, you know, and really who's behind the violent piece of it. Now the good thing is that these protests continue to go on. I mean, continue to go on. Like, I'm even surprised. Like, I felt it like that first weekend, but they are continuing to come out, not as strong, but still strong. And they're more peaceful, you know. And I think the peaceful protests are certainly outweighing the violent ones. It's just the violence is so sensationalized on the news. It seems like.
But did you guys see? But did you guys see it on the peaceful protests? Some of the people in blue, I'm gonna say that they were tearing up their water bottles. They were tearing down they said their medical stations, their stations. They were like punching holes in all their water bottles and everything.
The police was doing that to the protesters?
Yeah, I'm saying the men in blue. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, you still see stuff like.
Well, allegedly, I seen it was an ad, it was a post.
Okay, going by the ad.
So allegedly, according to the article.
Well, we saw on TV in plain sight, you know, some of the, you know, men in blue push down a 75-year-old man.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, they showed that on television.
That was horrible.
And I think a lot of them. Didn't they get rid of? Didn't a lot of them resign? Like 57 of them or something like that.
Yeah, they did. They resigned.
Who resigned? I mean, and you know, I try to put myself in their shoes because, you know, they are trained in a way where they're told to use force to get control of the situation, and so now with everything so heightened, you know, it's so sensitive for them to have to use force that I wouldn't probably want to work either, because any move they make is going to be scrutinized, whether it's right, wrong, or otherwise, you know. So I put myself in their shoes, and so as real crime happens, you know, they have to be very careful on how they approach the situation, because they're going to get called out.
Yeah, that's true. And just because we have some bad people in blue, there's still also some good people in blue. So
it's right here.
Yeah, it's almost like that bad apple spoils the whole bunch. That one rotten apple spoils the bunch. Because now everybody start losing respect for even the good men in blue. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah. That's right. I mean, you know, it's one of those things. In my mind, I guess for me, I'm more or less trying to find out the big why. You know, the why. You know, why this is going? I mean, what's the reason?
Yeah.
Why is this
what's
going
the reason
on? I mean,
why anarchists are hijacking the protests?
Well, I'm saying everything. I'm like, you know, from you know what happened to God bless Floyd, Mr. Floyd. You know, God bless his soul. You know what I mean? But my thing is, even from there, you know, it just, you know, and listen, this one little thing, look what happened. And all I'm gonna say is, I don't know if I heard Lovely T. Could we hear you? Did I hear you?
Lovely T.
Lovely T.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you went out. But I guess all I'm saying is the big why. Why is all this happening? Why is it all of a sudden, you know,
But it didn't just happen. What?
Well, no, I know it didn't just happen. I'm saying I'm just a boy.
I mean, you have Garner. You even back when not Garner, but the one what was the young boy's name?
Trayvon.
Trayvon.
After Trayvon.
After Trayvon.
After
Trayvon.
But yeah, but
so many of them.
Yeah, so many of them.
I know, right? But Michael Brown.
Yeah.
Oh,
Brown,
okay. Ferguson.
Yeah, Ferguson.
You know, they were saying that there were antagonists then in Ferguson, you know. But even so you have the good and the bad simultaneously building momentum. So because with each protest, there are lessons learned, both good and bad, right? So at each protest, they learn how to incite violence, or they learn how to, you know, because thinking of the positives, right? This is the first time I've seen, and you know, I mean, because like you said, we can go on Ahmaud Arbery, or he's, you know, fairly new, but Eric Garner, Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland, Philando Castile, Freddie Gray, you know, Breonna Taylor, the list goes on. With each one, you know, this is the first time I am hearing multiple agendas put forth and points of what we want. So it's not just we're going to protest, we want criminal justice reform. It's no, here's our 6 points. Here's the 20 things we want to happen. Here's the, you know what I'm saying? So again, I think because we've had so many experiences to learn from, both the anarchists and the, you know, the people who are in it for the right reasons, have learned how to you know, be more effective with the change part and not just the expression of emotion.
That's right. That's right. Wow. And that makes so much sense.
It does.
You know,
it does.
And for me, you know, and not to pull away from what's going on out there, I guess this would actually add to it, where we will talk about, you know, is it making a difference? What you know, because some might say that, you know, we should be doing it peacefully. Then you have some people to say, and these people saying it, not me. You have some people who are saying that, well, I'm tired of marching. Marching is not working. We've been marching forever, and I don't see anything. And now I almost believe that they would say, yeah, all they're gonna do is march. You know what I mean? So
and then it's gonna be over. And die out again.
So, and that's to Luciana Paulney. Forgive me if I didn't say it right. One of our commenters, you know, she says nonviolent protest has always been known to be the way of African Americans. She also has another comment here. Trayvon Martin's killer got away with murder. Violence begets violence. Orlando, Florida, a high school in Broward County, Chicago, is where high school students dress gunshot wounds.
Wow.
So
yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. And honestly, you know, I'm not saying that you know, it's just those strangers that have come in to the camp and want to cause problems within the camp. And it's not just, we're not the only, it's just them who's making this happen. I don't believe, I think you have a mixture of people. You do have those outsiders, them aliens. I call them UFOs. UFOs that come in and they try to hide among the camp, among the people, and cause, you know, problems. I believe those people exist, but then I also believe you have a people that exist in those crowds as well, who are tired. They're tired of seeing nothing. Now, obviously, they're using it in a different type of way. You get what I mean? Yeah. Meaning tearing up stuff. Go ahead.
Okay, so y'all remember the movie Malcolm X, right? And I don't know, this just came to me, but remember the scene where the black guy got picked up by the men in blue, and Malcolm X was demanding to see him because he was beaten up.
Yeah.
And the crowd came, right?
Yeah,
because there were these black men suited up, very, structured, and, and they marched with them to that police station. And if y'all remember that part, all the crowd behind him was like, yeah, it was riled up. And then he was like, let's go. And the men just kind of marched off, and the crowd was just kind of left feeling kind of stupid.
Right.
Y'all remember that?
Well,
I think that speaks to, like, when you say there's different people, like you have the folks that are actually organized, okay, right, and have purposely pulled together a march for a purpose, okay. Yeah. But then you have those that are just kind of, again, following along for the excitement and the opportunity, right? You know what I mean? And so it all looks like it's good because it's numbers, but you still have a mix of people or a mix of agendas in the same crowd.
Yeah, like you said, because it's almost like an agitator.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It is. It's an agitator.
Well, some of them.
Yeah.
Some of them are agitators, anarchists. Some of them are just opportunists. Like unemployment. Fortunately, when the unemployment report came out, it wasn't as dire as, they had a special news report just to announce the unemployment rate, and it was actually up a niche. And they thought it was going to be a lot worse. But, we know that when America has a cold, Black people had a flu. So even within that percentage of unemployment, I can bet money that disproportionately is Black folks. As a matter of fact, I heard it was Black women, because Black women make up, or women of color make up, most of the low-paying service jobs. And those are the ones that are still unemployed, like the beauty shops and things like that. You know what I'm saying? They still can't open. So I say that to say you have a lot of people that are still financially hurting, Right. So if Pookie and them is sitting on their couch and they like, oh, they just tore down that Target, come on, let's go get a TV.
Yeah, that's right.
They not worried about, what's the 12-point plan.
That's right.
For reform. Now, are they anarchists? No, but they are opportunists.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Luciana says the scene in the street representing the nation, directed by Spike Lee, was brilliant. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I seen the nation. I seen that. I seen it. But yes, we went together to go see that. But I guess my thing is, and to all those points, that's true. You opportunities. You a person who's just looking for, hey, it's convenient for them. Let's get it. You have that person who's actually just tired, and then that person who just want to get in to make it more, to make it worse. You know what I mean? If you was to name all, I wish we could put a name to all three of those type of characters or personalities. but see, that's what's going on right now. So I can, in saying all of that, everybody's there aren't there. They're there for that old school protesting. That's what they did. They're for that old peaceful protesting, and I get that. But see, here's the thing. As much as we don't want to believe this, or even this world wants to believe this, that I believe that emotions, it's 2 points to what I'm about to say. I believe certain people got more involved because their emotions connected to what they seen on social media. When this man would cry out to his mother, or you get what I mean, or tell the officer, plead with the officer life about he can't breathe. I think the world connected emotionally. And that's what made these, or the opposite side people say, hey, listen, I'm sorry for what your people going through. You know what I mean? And because they connected emotionally with this situation. But see, now here's the other part to that. Now, that's one part of it. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. I don't know.
Oh, here we go. Here, let me put my seatbelt on.
It's in a good place. It's in a good place. It's just more against social media. But I am going to step out and say that I believe also, I'll just say the opposite. I also believe that it wasn't the people who stood in a peaceful protest who it wasn't them who got who these people got it. You know what I mean? I'll say like that. It wasn't them. It wasn't the people who were saying that I'm going to protest peacefully. It wasn't them. It wasn't them. They didn't. In fact, I don't even know if they had a voice. But the ones who had the voice were the opposite of that group, as well as emotions that that other people other than Black people connected to seeing that event, seeing what happened, seeing how unhuman.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Not even in on both sides. It looked like it would look like it was an animal call. You know how a hunter does. A hunter sit beside their deer or their cats, and they take a picture. Yeah, I felt that. But and I believe people see how degrading. You know what I mean? That was where it took their emotions. Now they say, wait a minute, we got to do something about this. We got, what can we do? What can now I find people, and maybe it's just me. I find people, Caucasian people, I'll just say that when you go somewhere, while this is going on, they look at you, they feel like they have to talk to you, smile at you more. You see that as though and it's like they say, oh my God, you're people going through a whole lot. Yeah. Because I'm leading on to our next topic, but keep going. What you gotta say?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, they had Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughter on, and they were interviewing her. And well, wait a minute. They did interview her, but I'm sorry, I'm mixing it up. It was one of the slain black boys' sister or mother. So forgive me for not knowing, I'm getting across. But anyway, her point was that see, right now, as we have to remember, we're still in the middle of a pandemic.
Right.
So we don't have a major movie or a baseball game or even just going to the beach or the pool to distract us, to take our attention away, to say, oh well, we're not gonna do, like, we are literally at home doing nothing. So and every time you turn on the TV, you're looking at Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? This is in your face. There's, you know what I mean? So like before, you know what I'm saying? And there's many contributors, but before you had what was the movie with the Avengers? You know what I'm saying? You had baseball and basketball and, March Madness and things to distract from the issue. Because when Colin Kaepernick took a knee, he was protesting police brutality. He was, men in blue brutality then, but people wanted to see their football. You know what I'm saying? Now,
that's right.
You ain't got nothing to look at. So it's in your face. It's in your face. And I do appreciate our white allies that are out there, because even in the civil rights movement, there were white people that died for the cause. So it's not about, thinking that it's all white people, but typically the ones that are in these anarchy groups or agitator groups tend to be of that, race. But it doesn't mean that all white people are, again, looking at a news show this morning. There was a white man who broke down in tears. Like, he got choked up because he was like, he had to explain to his young children what's going on. And it was heartbreaking for him to hear these kids, these Black kids out here saying, I just want to live. Like that touched his heart, Tone, like you were saying, that on national TV, he started choking up. So we do have our white allies out there. I just wanted to put that out there.
So we got a comment from well, it went away now. I don't care. From Lucinda. What was that last one, guys?
She said that Black men are undervalued in the workplace.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's so true. It's so true. In so many ways. You really, I'll say it like this: you really have to play the game. If you're not, you know what I mean. You know, what am I saying? In the work, and what I mean by play the game, well, y'all should know what I mean by play the game. You have to be somebody different in the workplace than who you really are. Because of those particular people who pretty much own the workplace too much, and you almost have to play a certain game to certain degrees. Some people don't believe that you have to, but I'm saying that they're so undervalued. So them, God forbid, if they be themselves in the workplace. You know, God forbid if they be themselves. And so what do I mean by that? So because a lot of, and then you have a lot of Black men who they work hard in their places, and they still undervalue. But overall, I mean, it's obvious. It's very obvious. You know, unless you know how to play the game. And there's some people out here who know how to play the game. They know how to play the game in front of these people, and they make their way up in high positions. You know what I mean? Don't always think that it's your intelligence that gets you to where you are. Sometimes it can be by other people's conveniency that you be in certain positions. We just believe. I mean, I'm just going to be. I mean, that's how I feel in terms of Black men in the workplace. And then so when we do make it in a certain position, you know, and sometimes I'm not saying it's not always hard work, but I am saying that a lot of times it is other people's conveniency to have someone of color in that position.
It's good you said that. I was reading a comment. Someone had just said that just because they said that some Black men
Lovely T, can you hear us?
I can.
Lovely T, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Everything.
All right.
Everything in the whole community just went boom.
It went out and came back on.
The anarchist.
That's right.
You get to telling the truth,
Yeah, that's a conspircy. If we was a conspiracy theorist, we'd say, "Oh yeah."
But we was like, "Wow, the whole community just went boom."
I was like, "Wait a minute, did I touch something?"
Right. No, everything.
So now we gotta bring everybody. We had a lot of people was watching.
Yes.
But I mean, maybe like you said, some things is out of our control. Who knew? In the middle of our podcast after 4:30, the round table, they was plotting to turn us off. You know what I mean? But guys, listen, that's where we are.
That's right.
We just believe that, it's so much to be looked at. And I guess where I was going with this was, we were talking about, the different individuals or the different characters that will play out in all of this is going on. You have your people who are ready to protest, clean peacefully.
Yes.
Then you have those who are just fed up, but they're protest, but whatever happens. Then you got those who are just plotting to make everything worse
than what it already is.
You got all these.
I just read. Oh, go ahead, Tony. You was trying to finish.
Go ahead.
I was saying I was just reading about an extremist group called Boogaloo. So remember Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo?
Yeah.
And so this was out in Vegas, and I think a couple of them got arrested. And so they were saying in the article that this is like proof that you have extremist groups that are trying to present violence in these protests. Because they want to be seen. They want to be heard. You know what I'm saying? And so they're jumping on the bandwagon of the protest. But that goes back to your question of why. Why is all of this? How do they benefit from inciting violence in these protests? And true to like their name, anarchists, they want the American way to collapse. And if you can create division and anarchy, you see what I'm saying? Then you can collapse a system.
That's right.
And so that tends to be their agenda.
Yeah, it has to be, because nothing else makes sense anymore.
It does.
The logical doesn't make sense anymore. I don't believe that guy exists anymore. You can look at something totally with your eyes, the eyes that you've been trusting in all your life. You can see something on video, and it can be something that went down in the scene of a crime, and it would be totally dismissed as you guys didn't see the whole video. So charges were dropped. I mean, so logic doesn't make sense anymore. You can't even use that. We can't even use that word. In fact, whenever we see something that happens, thank God and shout out to social media platforms like this one.
That's right.
And shout out to phones and cell phones, people who can video this stuff. And because what if this never had a video camera behind it?
That's right.
I mean, any of these incidents. But I guess what I'm saying is that it's we just live in the area right now, in the world right now, where it's. I don't even have the word for the look.
But that's like you have the millennials, like we're Gen Xers for the most part, and we grew up with a certain experience, and how to we learned from our ancestors in terms of how to deal with these incidents. But these millennials, I'm telling you, like. They are like, F this, we are not taking it. And that's right. That's why if you look historically, even Martin Luther King Jr., most of the change agents are of the younger generation, because they come along and they say, okay, we're not doing the status quo. No.
That's right.
They still have most of their future ahead of them, most of their life ahead of them. And so I think that's what you're seeing too. But because of social media, you know what I'm saying? There's that power to collectively organize and pull people in. I mean, that power, when you have that kind of platform, it's just, it makes things happen a lot quicker, and I believe on a lot larger scale, because now you're not having to go door to door to organize your folks. You can go online, I mean, they were talking about protests was happening worldwide. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and it was growing by the minute too.
First, that's the power of social media.
Yeah.
Right.
Where do we see it at? What other country did we see it?
Oh, it was some other
country. I said, I don't know. Cause it wasn't Japan. It was another country
somewhere
that
we was like,
it was just straight 100% white. And I'm like, I don't know if they protested for the brothers over here.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know. But I guess, all that's, that's all good. But I guess my thought process is, to the powers that be, that you have to look. I believe that it's 42 million black people in America. I believe it's 42 million black people. Assistant, go to the back and get my iPhone. Get that iPhone in that room back there. Yeah.
You guys are showing right here, London protesters in London are I mean, and it's I don't want to say millions, but it looks like it's thousands of people out there protesting in London. Like, this is the power of social media.
That's
right.
And I know to some degree people hate social media because of the value that it plays in everything that's going on. But what I'm asking is, do you believe this making a difference? Do you believe that people, because our people are now, can we say this? Do we believe that it's everybody, blacks, whites, everybody standing together, and that's why people are starting to, which we're going to start going into in a minute with this donating stuff. Do you believe that that's making a difference because people are standing together to say, hey, listen, we're tired of this. You guys got to make a change? Or do you believe it's because of everybody going in there doing the R word, R-ing everything up, you know what I mean? And whatever.
Violence begets violence. One of our watchers cited that, already. Violence begets violence. That's not it. It's what you talked about earlier, Tom. The white guy on national TV having to talk to his kids because they can't escape it, and having to humanize what is going on. You look at your own kids and you think about, my God, you know what I'm saying? What if that was my son walking down the street? Or this world is not fair when my son can walk down the street, and if the police stop him, he has a 80% chance of still walking away, while this black kid does not. Like, it pulls on the heartstrings of people worldwide, because there's racism worldwide. Okay, it's black folks over in London, and I'm not saying that I know anything about the degree of racism, but people of color are discriminated against around the world.
So I just don't want this thing to be like, how when Christmas come, everybody, how they say everybody get in the Christmas spirit, because it's more like emotionally driven. Like when you go into the stores, you hear the music playing, everything feel good, but when this thing dies down, are we going to still stand strong, or are we still going to stand up? If New
York is in the process right now of passing a bill with Eric Gardner's name on it. And forgive me, I forget the specifics of the law or the ordinance or whatever it is. But the point is that when you talk about, is this going to change? Anytime you can start to influence policies and laws, You're talking about institutionalized things that will live well beyond you. So once the march is gone, guess what? That law is still going to be there. Now it may take time and we will see, if it's enforced, because that becomes a different issue. But the fact that it's on the books, you can hold people accountable. You can hold them. And so, yes, this is making a difference. And I do believe that we will see long-lasting change because we have actual, like I say, policy, procedure, law change that's being put into effect. And it's slow moving. So it may not seem like it now. But like I said, Eric Garner, how many years was that? And now we have an ordinance or a law being put in place as a result.
And I'm gonna say this: whether we believe, and go with me on this, whether we believe that this has been plotted out to happen, or whether we believe that people are really getting tired, the fact remains that everybody connected emotionally when they seen that video come out. When they're one thing you can't take or hide from a person is their own humanness, or I don't even know if that's a word. Human instinct, their feelings, they're being a human, Homo sapien.
Empathetic.
One thing no one can take from each other of who you are as a person. And I believe that on YouTube, on Facebook, on whatever social media platform that camera, when that guy behind it turned it on, everybody connected immediately, because guess what? At the end of the day, we're still human. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter, what. Even if you were an animal, it didn't matter. Everyone connected emotionally, and everybody forget about that. Once people connect emotionally to anything, then you will see truly how they feel or believe, because they're going to stand up for whatever it is. And I believe that that's what happened. I believe that emotions, that these people sitting around at the house, or, listen, the biggest thing now out is our cell phones. Everybody have one. So, immediately they come into people's video, wherever they were, they felt the cognitive dissonance wasn't there. It wasn't there. They couldn't find a way to escape, to make this thing believe that it really, no, this is how it should be. No, they couldn't, they didn't have that at that time. They seen this man crying out for his mother.
I'm even touched. I'm just looking at, like, I knew it was worldwide, but just, we just had up the videos in like 2 different countries of protests. Like that makes me emotional, you know what I mean? Because I mean, to see the magnitude,
Yeah,
that's right.
Most definitely.
And they connected. So what happens now, change have to come. Now we'll roll into this change that what we see, people are trying to stand up and say, this is what I'm going. And I don't want to just directly go into it, but those who are watching, if you are watching, what do you believe change would be? What is change to you? Is change $14 trillion going back into the Black community? Is that change?
It's going through organizations, because
it's going through organization. What is change to you? Because here's the thing. You have companies like Bank of America. You have companies like Target. You have companies like GMC, where you're seeing, and there's other companies, but you're hearing these companies stand up to say that, listen, I'm going to give $10 million. I'm going to give $1 billion. And now let me ask this to our people. Do you believe that's considered to be change for you? Because would you really see that dollar?
Right.
You know what I mean? Is that change for you, or is that change for the people who are receiving the money?
That's over these organizations and things of that nature.
Well, so let's talk about it. I said all that to say.
Are we switching over?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we're switching over. What is that change?
So we're switching over. So what's the new topic? So I can.
Well, we're still staying somewhat to the same topic, but we're just going into about what is the real change in terms of these organizations stepping up to say, I'm about to donate $1 billion.
For inequality.
For equality, right? Do you believe?
To me, when you look at when you can put your money where your mouth is, then that is change, because now you're talking about resources, okay? And resources comes in many forms. You have human capital, you have money, you have time, you have manpower, so resources can come in many forms. Financial is one way, but certainly when you have financial backing, that opens the doors for programming, for scholarships, for addressing some of these root causes in the first place, like poor housing, poor access to healthcare. Like when you have money, you can begin to like I say, program and build and just put your money where your mouth, put your money where your mouth is. You say you support us, you giving us money to support us. Okay, that could go to the legal defense fund.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. See, in saying that, just because you have money, does that give you the right to tell me or for you to allocate where those dollars should go? And what do I mean? Like take Bank of America. I believe one of their ideas or whatever you might say, or one of the things that was written in, I guess, into them donating this money, that they'll give a certain amount of money for vaccination.
Yeah, and health centers.
But focus
Small
on vaccinations. I want to focus on vaccinations and saying that, why are you so dedicated about donating so much money, but then you say vaccinations? Why should that be? You know what I mean? Who are you to me to tell where we should put the money? Now, I get it. It should be at least talked, say, hey, what do you guys think about this? So those people can say no, and no, what about this? No, maybe we don't need vaccinations, but maybe we just need really good health care.
Yeah.
I mean, to you know what I mean? So my thing is, why vaccinations? Why we'll hire more Black people into our organization? Because that was another thing that they would say, they will hire more people. What do you mean? You wasn't hiring them in the first place?
I mean,
we know that they had that lawsuit out because
they were fined $2.2 million because they were not hiring like a lot of African and Black people.
Right.
What to say?
Who was this?
Bank of America. This is Bank of America.
Okay.
Well, Bank of America said that they would donate $1 billion. I believe it was $1 billion towards this situation. I guess all I'm saying is, would the Blacks in that community or in general, how would that affect them? Because you giving money to different leagues. You know what I mean?
And again, employment opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, the wheels of change can sometimes be slow. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at some of the hard foundational things that pull people up out of poverty, like steady housing, steady employment, education, health. So one, it's my money. So that's why I get to dictate where I send it. So
we had a comment from Eugene. He said, in addition to programs, because organizations and bank allocation may not reach everyone.
They won't.
It's not going to reach everyone.
Right.
So
we can't lean on other people to be the answer. Okay. So that's the way I look at it. Like, sometimes we engage in these conversations and we say, why are we depending on somebody else to bail us out? You know what I'm saying? We have to we have to galvanize and pull our, as much as possible, pull ourselves out. Well, at the same time, we can't do it alone. You know what I mean? So we can't blame them because they say, I want to donate $1 billion, but I want it to specifically go to vaccinations. Then it becomes okay. Well, then now what they can do, or what somebody can hold them accountable to, is say, okay, well, we're going to hire a diverse group, or we're going to, try to target where we post positions. Make sure that the people that are making decisions or building these programs are people that represent the community that we're going to serve. Then that way you're able to make sure that the people in the hood are the ones that are benefiting in this particular area. But to say like, oh, you know what I'm saying, who are you to say where your money go? I mean, just think about you. If you wanted to give $100, like if y'all was feeling the spirit and y'all wanted to give $100, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to choose like, oh, well, children touch my heart, or education touches, the homeless touch my heart. So this is where I'm going to put my money.
But see, here's the thing to that. Here's the thing. The same thing that using the word conspiracy theorists use a lot of is that, and some people have said it has been proven. In fact, I don't know, but they would say vaccinations kill. It damages. It damaged people internally. I mean, it does so bad things to them. I'm just saying, why use the word vaccinations? Why do it have to be that? So why are you so concerned about Black people being vaccinated? I mean, why are you so concerned about that? And there's so much evidence out there that shows, I don't know, there is evidence out there that shows how vaccinations cause harm to people. But see, that will be the same thing as Planned Parenthood living in our communities as well. It still causes some sort of harm to our people. So I'm just saying, why do you have to be the
liquor stores? So do fast food places.
But here's the thing to that. Those people, they allow them to move into that community. At least they allow it, instead of you saying that in order for me to throw my money your way, you have to get vaccinations.
Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't see things with a critical eye, but what I am saying is like, somebody can have the goodest intentions, and it not have anything to do like, I mean, so like, for example, if all of a sudden the what's the gun rights advocacy group, if all of a sudden they wanted to support Black Lives Matter, somebody might question, well, what the hell does the gun folks who are typically, more on the not really Republican, but the conservative side, what business do they have, giving money to Black Lives Matter? So I do think you should look at things critically. But on the other hand, I think the extreme of that is to say, why are you concerned with where you want your money to be donated?
I just think I will be very concerned if vaccinations are at the top of the list of what you're concerned instead of education, instead of training, and instead of job development. I would think that you would be more concerned about me. I can do better if I can make money. I can do better for myself. And poverty has been one of the biggest things. Obviously, this is the things I've always heard: war, disease, and poverty. You look up those meaning: war, disease, and poverty. Those things go hand in hand into a destructive person. You know what I mean? Well, no, it was war. I forget what, but anyway, war, disease, and poverty. But you have to go deeper into that. But I guess, what is this comment?
So the comment is, there is no such thing as a safe vaccine, and there never will be.
See, there you go. Exactly. And that's where my mindset was, that, why vaccinations? You could have said anything else, but you chose. I mean, do you know how many things that you can do just by you saying, you know what, because we believe in the Black community and entrepreneurship, we're going to set a fund of or say 100 million.
They did say for small businesses.
But know what I'm saying? You're setting up this fund and you're going to make it where these people can qualify because they're going to go through some type of training. Right. And in this training, go ahead.
I mean, so the great thing about America is that you're allowed to have many different perspectives. You know what I mean? And so for me, a logical thought process would be, you know, if I looked at the fact that the hardest hit cities of COVID-19, and I don't know if that's a X word or not, but yes, the hardest hit, it is, okay. So the hardest hit cities of the pandemic were disproportionately people of color and people in poverty. Most of the people, like we talk about, oh, it's only 1%, or it's only, you know, what is less than 1% of those that died. But of that less than 1%, disproportionately, it was people of color who died. Like, it would make sense to me as America rushes to get a vaccine out so that we don't have a resurgence of the pandemic, that somebody is saying, well, I want to make sure the poor communities of color get access to this vaccine, because so they won't be disproportionately impacted like they were in the first round. Like, to me, that makes sense. Now, your personal opinion about a vaccine that's your personal opinion.
But the conspiracy theorists will say, well, that was all set up just to get that vaccine to that community, to destroy that community. You never know.
But and no, I get both. I get both ends of it to say that. I understand that. But I guess my mindset is, and going back to what Lovely T was saying, that they wanted to make sure. How do we know that they just didn't want to make sure that you know, African Americans or whatever, or those people? I said those people, right? Okay, so but yeah, to say us, to make sure we get it. But here's the other piece to that. So what are we saying? That if it takes a bank to step in to say, I'm going to give money for vaccines? I thought we all over Americans, I thought we will all get it regardless to somebody stepping up to the plate or not. I mean, I'm just saying, what I'm understanding to me is that, my understanding is that I don't understand. Well, that's the wrong wordplay. What I'm understanding is this, is that you could have chose any other word to me, but vaccinations. Who give you the right to decide that you would put something in my body and that you will encourage that more so than things that I would need, common things that I would need, is to help raise my family? I would think that you would be focusing on that, or some other play with insurance. You know, hey, that I step up to say that maybe more Black people, you know, we're going to help bring more farms to the city. Better health choices, you know, where they can actually, come on, man, vaccinations. You get that deep with it where you talk about vaccination. That's all. To me, it's just something eerie about using or even stepping up to the plate about vaccinations when everybody was. I mean, Donald Trump got a vaccine. He got to give it to everybody. He can't just go and skip past all the Black communities and say, no, you won't get it. No, we all gonna get vaccinations regardless if Bank of America, if they step in or not. I guess my thing is, I don't know if that should be something that's scary. I don't know if we shouldn't be worried about continuing to kill off the Black folks. You know what I mean? If you want to use that word. And I don't know if that's the right word to use. I don't want to be desensitized. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's just weird to me. But
they say they're supposed to get money towards small businesses, but I know it's going to be a hard stipulation, because just like it was with the PPP, this payroll protection program that the government issued out for these these corporations, these small businesses, they made it kind of hard. So are they gonna make it hard for these small businesses to get this money?
You know? I mean, but sometimes, so sometimes when you talk about private donors or private scholarships, it really is the parameters they set. And sometimes they can be a lot more relaxed than if you were going through the federal government. Because, federal government, there's a lot of bureaucracy there. So there are a lot of hoops that you have to go through. Unlike if it's a private donor, if it's the Bushell Media, scholarship, you may only have 3 or 4 criteria that a person has to meet. So I think it just depends on who's donating and what, stipulations they put in, what they're putting out there in terms of how you need to qualify.
No, and I'm gonna say this in this particular thing, I was cool with. You talking about, listen, let me say it this way, and it's all I can say this because it's already out there, right? In terms of Bank of America. I mean, we talking about the same people who've gotten who got sued $2.2 million, right, in a lawsuit for some type of racial discrimination, whatever
that, for getting employment
right.
There.
What
Hold
I'm
on,
saying
guys,
is,
I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
No. I'm saying this. I'm saying we're talking about $2.2 million, where this bank
got fined.
I got it. Got sued. They got sued for this amount of money. Fined, sued, and these are the same people now that's talking about vaccinations in the Black community. I mean, call me a conspiracy theorist if you want. I'm just saying that. So we also we all of a sudden we trust you. You had a fine put on you for a lot of money, and we just all of a sudden trust you to think that you'll put $1 billion in our community for just say, hey guys, we're by your side.
Yeah,
now,
right.
I don't know about this buyback,
because they said that they had also they was fined, like you said, 2.2 million because they discriminated candidates for jobs over 2 decades. It wasn't like 1 year or 2. It said 2 decades. So
and I guess that's
and
all.
Who is this? I'm sorry. Who is this? Who got?
It's Bank of America. They had got
okay.
Yeah, they have a trouble history with minorities.
Yeah,
like you said, it was fine. So this gone back for 2 decades.
2 decades. So I guess all I'm saying is I think that I'm going to feel some type of way when you use one of the deadliest things that can cause harm. From my belief, this is my belief in terms of vaccinations, and there's been proven that cause some ailments or people that have certain type of diseases today. So I guess all I'm saying is, and people talk. You have scientists out here who talk badly. I mean, they talk horribly about vaccinations. So all I'm saying is that, I think that we could use something that's going to help us out more so than the vaccination. That if they were going to push it, they should be pushing it to blacks, whites, and everybody else.
So what would be the difference what would be the difference from them giving that money and then getting reparations, which been out there on a they've been talking about it for a little bit now, reparations. So what would be the difference? They would rather just donate.
Are some talking about conspiracy theorists. The same guy that I was telling you I was listening to, he was saying that reparations would somehow cause an economy collapse.
But see, here's the thing. We got a long quote for someone.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, and I don't know if we want to.
We could read it. We could definitely read it. But why are we prepping that up to read it? But see, here's the thing, right? How in the world can you can't find 14 trillion, but you just found that? What did they pay out? 3 trillion twice or something like that? I can't think of it. I mean, recently for stimulus checks, for PPPs, they just found this money. I mean, out of nowhere. But we don't have the money. You get what I mean? They just found stimulus checks for everybody on the face of the 4 corners of America. You know what I mean? They get given a stimulus check to. I mean, do you know how much?
Well, they're just putting themselves in more debt.
But here's the thing.
What they're doing.
But here's the thing, though. Says who? See, look what I'm saying. Okay, so everybody know where the money is being financed to. If you don't, then you under the rug, because we know that when we borrow our money, it's coming from where? Where it's coming from?
The bank.
What bank? That Popular Bank.
Oh, the Reserve.
Yeah, Federal Reserve. We know where that money comes from. So when we say that we get in debt, says who? You know what I mean? Because now here's the thing that makes sense to me. If you giving out, and then you've already given reparations to everybody else. But here's the thing to this: if you gave out $14 trillion, 42 million Black Americans that probably will receive somewhat, like 350,000 per check. Do you know that money is going to actually stimulate the community? I mean, the economy, because half of those people, half of the Black people are going to be buying cars, houses, clothes. It's going right back to the community. So tell me how you going to be back in debt and that money is going to go right back to the community instantly. I mean, you're going to have the economy. You have people who will sit on their money. You have people who will try to invest in those things and make dollars, for themselves. But then a whole lot of them are going to put it back into the economy immediately. You get what I mean? So when you say this, we can't afford it, says who? And I need you to tell me the breakdown of how you think the economy or this government wouldn't get that money back. I mean, tell me. I mean, I don't understand that, and they know it, or is it that I just don't want to put money because I want to keep you down? And that's what.
In terms of reparations, are you talking about reparations, Tom?
Yeah, exactly. In terms of the reparations of the $14 trillion, what the lawsuit that Bob Jones. Johnson, I believe Jones from BET, former BET owner. I mean, this guy's probably worth $1 billion himself. I mean, he's looking at this to say, it already have been done. And even if you don't want to put 350 million in Black people's hand, they'll make it where they can get business loans, make it where they can get housing,
most definitely,
or some type of home ownership, or something, or put it in where they can go to school. Those who want to go to school, and that's a grant for them to go back to school to educate them. There's ways you can do it. You don't necessarily have to put that type of money in anyone's hand. And I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if everybody should have that money in their hand, because those who are drug addicts, they're gonna become deeper in drugs. Most people will kill themselves if they got $350,000 in their bank account. They will kill themselves. Exactly. And it would be actually crime probably would increase, because everybody's gonna be trying to take yours. You know what I mean? So that I'm gonna be honest. I wouldn't necessarily want everybody to have $350,000 put in their bank account instantly. I don't think that would be safe for them.
But you could put it into, like you said, starting businesses and helping where they can have, they can have work. They can get, they can have a stable neighborhood. They bring up their neighborhoods, build and make things, you know what I'm saying? And just get all of that good stuff.
Yeah, well, let them know that this money exists. You can get it, and we're going to make sure you get it. It's not going to be, we're going to be denying because you're owed this. This is your money. But now here's the road you must walk down to get it. And I'm not going to make it hard for you. I just want to see that you want to change your life, because listen, if I've been selling weed in my community for years and I've been making $500,000-$600,000, when you give me that $300,000 check, can either go increase what I'm doing or just going to help me build my community in terms of me buying a bigger house or whatever. So all I'm saying is that I don't know if everyone should get a check in their pocket. Or what about that single mom or who have it, or just young and don't know how to, she can't even handle $1,000.
She can't even budget $200.
What the crap is she gonna do with $350,000? but allow someone to take it from her. More bodies gonna be accounted for, more drug addicts gonna come about. So I don't think, and sometimes we think we know what we want, but honestly, everybody don't need $350,000 in their bank account. They don't.
Like you said, it's about investing in those pathways out of poverty. It's up to the people to walk that pathway. You know what I mean? So if your intention, like you say, is to like, if you was dealing and you looking at that 350,000 as a way to broaden your dealing business, then that's not gonna benefit the community in a positive way. No. You know what I mean? Right. And so put it. Go ahead, Lady B.
Oh, I'm sorry. Eugene said that forgiving debt may put us on a even kill in addition to the programs. So killing a lot of our debts.
Oh, absolutely. Hello. Yes. Yes, absolutely. I mean, considering that people of color, first of all, first layer is people of color tend to make, less money than their white counterparts. And then I'm going to advocate for myself and women of color who then, so then let's look at it this way. Race wise, white people make more money than blacks. Gender wise, men make more money than women, typically. So what does that say for the black woman?
Right.
There's an intersection there. You know what I mean? So when you look at employment opportunities, like I can go to school. Well, I did, I went to school. I incurred a debt. I've been out of school for 20 years and I am still no more out of debt than I was the day I walked across the stage.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, because we know that there's not an even playing field. My white counterpart that went to the same school, got the same degree, you know what I'm saying? Because she either had historical wealth, she had a family, you know what I'm saying? Like she married into, her husband is a engineer. So many reasons why the playing field is not level. Yes, to erase debt for minorities, I think would be a huge, and they're already trying to do that. They're already trying to do that.
Okay, so my thing is, so you're saying that helping erase the debt, and Eugene was saying to erase the debt, that can be a start in terms of that 350,000 where they will call in to a certain company. That company might be white, where that company gonna benefit off the blacks. I'm just playing. But my thing is that they will call in because they'd be one. And so you'll call in, and what they would do is I lost my,
well, the guy Eugene just said what you said. Take the 350,000 and apply it for debt and give the individual the balance, whatever's left. But I don't think everybody got $350,000 in debt.
Somebody might have 20,000.
I mean, it's kind of like I know somebody that works at MGM, and one of the things MGM is doing is they're saying, hey, if you need help with your mortgage payment, your utilities, your, send us your lease, send us your mortgage, send us your DTE bill. We'll pay it, and we'll pay it up to 3 to 6 months. You know what I'm saying? It's probably a lot of programs out there because of this pandemic that are similar to that. So much like that, the 350,000, send us your debt. First of all, you have to prove the debt, and then for those who don't have debt because they're already in abject poverty, like they didn't even have the opportunity to to go beyond a liquor store on the corner. That's where you say, okay, well, for you, we will put down the first, we will put down the first, 50% for you for home ownership up to, $70,000. You can get a decent house with $70,000. You know what I'm saying? And take them from renting and non-ownership to a place of ownership. You know what I mean? So yes, there are definitely ways that you can create opportunity or pathways for people to get out of, poverty, or just, because I'm not in poverty, but certainly if I didn't have a debt looming over my head, that money that I'm been paying for the past 20 years, just think of what else I could have paid off my house.
You're right.
You know what I mean? So yeah. I think
and
that
then,
would help.
and like you said, making pathway to home ownership easier, because it's been so hard also for like a lot of minorities, you know.
But see,
and,
but I'm on some this kind of stuff. Let me tell you what I'm on. I don't know. I think that there should be, if you go around the home ownership thing, I think that it should be a situation where you can say how much money I can qualify for. And here you go. Here's a trap. No, well, not a trap, but here's the other part to it. You can say, okay, we're going to give $250,000 in a grant for you, or whatever it may be, for you to get your home. Now, if that house is $300,000, that's up to you and the lender. But we're only going to give this much money, because I don't believe that they should say pay a certain percentage of a house that you owe me this. If you giving me reparations, if you're gonna give me $350,000, don't tell me you're gonna give me 70% up to $150,000 house. You should be buying that house. It should be a grant paying that house off. Or it should be this. If I go past what that grant is, now that's up to you and the lender, because
they was always already a promise of acre and how many mule and how many acres.
So my thing would be that, listen, this is what it need to be. If you're saying that if it does be 350,000, this is how we'll break it down. You can use a certain percentage of that money in different areas. Now, if you're right. So even if it's not 100% of that money, if I use 25% of that 25% may be able to buy a house for cash. You know, or buy that money.
Or buy a couple of houses and become a landlord, right? I mean, I agree with that.
Exactly. So that's my thing. So it's so many ways that if they wanted to, they can make this right. Because I even believe that Joe Biden is against it, or was against it. I believe Donald Trump said something to it, and I forgot the head. What is the head Republican? I forget his name. Yeah, he said something to it, and all of them had an even flow of saying that, hey, I wasn't back in that day. You know, I wasn't there those many years ago.
Yeah, but
that don't have anything to do with me.
But they still backed up all the other people that wasn't there back in the day for the, the Holocaust, for the, the Native Americans got money, Japanese.
Let me ask y'all this. When they say the Native Americans, they always say, well, the Native Americans got the casinos. What do they mean by that?
Well, first of all, Native Americans, they do own a lot of the casinos, and then on their land, they're sovereign. They you know what I'm saying, like they literally are their own government. Even they don't necessarily operate under the same laws as America, because they're their own kind of.
But why do they look so? Why do their community look so like? I don't want to say.
I mean, it's no different than us. Let me tell you, man. You can look up any stat. Because I had to do it a lot. And Native Americans, unfortunately, are at the top of almost every one that deals with some negative impact. They're number one when it comes to, like, in terms of racial groups or cultural groups in suicides. They're number one in terms of alcohol use.
Yep, I heard that.
Just the atrocity that it happened to them first before it even happened to us. You know what I mean? And I think that lives in their gene pool, just like slavery lives in ours. And it's kind of
they never got
impacted us.
And they never got the mental help, help in terms of repairing,
Yeah.
I guess just drawing back to the the different companies that wants to donate money into the so-called African American community. I guess it just bothers me when I hear that word, and then they'll go to different they'll mention different nonprofits or leagues they'll be donating money to,
but
as though these people are. I mean, why? You know, and the reason why I'm saying this is because maybe I'm trying to throw out. You know, I mean, God knows this little podcast is don't have the voice. But what I'm saying is that I would throw out back to those companies. You know, I wouldn't just be, if you're so adamant, about giving the money to the community, won't you form something within your organization that reach directly to the people and not just to organizations? Or those organizations have to be trusted, because I hear this, but I don't feel good about it when I hear a Target that is going to donate $10 million to this organization. I mean, what do you mean to this organization? How do you know that organization represents us? Just because they got a black face.
That's right.
Here's my thing to this.
Well, I would hope these are business people. You know what I'm saying? So I would hope that they've done their homework. You know what I'm saying? I agree with you. Like, you don't just like spin the wheel and okay, we're gonna give it to this organization. Like, as a business, as you know, a multi-million-dollar business, I would think that you have done the research. You have looked at this organization's financials and the work that they've done, and you know what I'm saying? And there's been information that you've been privy to that has led you to this particular decision. I would hope that it wouldn't just be a willy-nilly type decision that, oh, okay, well, we're just gonna give you guys this money over here.
Well, see, here's my thing. I think I heard something about leagues. I mean, this is my thing. What I'm saying is this, right? Okay. So other times when you have companies like GM, you got companies like Target, who's been in the black community for years, more so if not in it, around it, where they already know nonprofits who are already credible. They know them, and they know a lot of black nonprofits who are credible. So guess what? Just for their own conscience sake, they say, oh, donate to the African League of whoever, and then we're going to post that to say we did it so we'll look good. I'm not really caring about the grassroots programs in those communities, or them saying, hey, listen, we're going to set up, here we go, right? We're going to set up an organization within our organization to make sure that these communities' voices are being heard. In fact, we're going to have community meetings at whatever these organizations will be, where they can organize to sit down and ask the community, what do you think you need in your community? I mean, those to me are the things that we need that I think will make a difference, because it's going to actually touch the people more so than going to some organization. And that organization, just because they're a well-known organization, don't mean that they're going to see every dollar.
So Target said Target stands with black families, communities, and team members as we face an affliction point in Minneapolis and across the country. We are listening to our team, our guests, and communities, committed to using our size, scale, and resources to help heal and create lasting change.
Yeah, so I think that they have to get. So if I think I heard GM said that they were giving $10 million to. I don't know if that was. I think I heard that allegedly. I'll say allegedly because I'm not sure if it's true. But if it is, make sure, just to me, that you have taken the time to actually look into these organizations, or make sure that they are found what's that word? Credible. With this type of money. And here we go. I'm going to have someone that's going to be connected to the organization in terms of this money. If you don't see money in your bank account, we'll just push the money out when you tell us the things that needs to be done and what guys are doing, and then we'll send the money. So it's so I should have to say that, but it's so corrupted within certain communities or certain nonprofits.
We can see that too much even in schools, so we know corruption.
You have to. I guess my cry is, I hope the people see the money. And see, that's my thing. All these people, and that's good. They're standing up and they put their hands up. I got 10 million over here. I have a billion over here. I got another 10. And look, this one organization say, well, I'm going to send $1 million for the police officers to be trained. Huh? What do you mean? I'm gonna send $1 million for the police officers to be trained. Now, what does that mean to me or to that little young 16-year-old boy in the black community? What did that mean to them? Because you're training them $1 million.
You need to train the young black men in how to stay alive. That's what they need to use the money for.
But I mean, guys, like I do get what I get what you're saying. I guess my thing is that's like I send my son to school, but I would be foolish to think that he's gonna get his complete education just from school. I don't send my son to school with that expectation. Therefore, I am not disappointed when it doesn't happen. It is my responsibility as his parent to make sure that he has everything he needs to grow up as a black boy in America. So my point is, with these big corporations, like, really, what is your expectation? We cannot depend on them to be the answer, to be the Messiah that, brings us up and brings us out. No, but what this will do with this amount of resources being put into these focused areas is that it will plant seeds. You know what I mean? So maybe not for us immediately, and maybe for some of us, but you best believe, and even through all of the corruption that may occur as these people delve out these millions and millions of dollars, because corruption will be there, that there will also be a certain amount of good that will happen as a result of this level of investment in these causes. And it will plant seeds and create avenues for people that you never know what will happen in the future because of that. So that's how I look at it. I don't expect them to be the answer for us. So if you want to give your little money, if you want to give it to the Color of Change, because they're the most popular, they're the most out there advocacy group, and again, they're like, yes, we want to be supportive, but we can't make this our thing, even though there have been some companies that have been with us for the long term. But some companies are just going to be like, okay, yes, I need to feel like I'm a part of this. So I'm going to give y'all this $10,000 donation. Y'all do whatever y'all need to do. And I'm going to be able to sleep at night because I know I contributed. So you're going to have a range of things, of how people, what their motives are, how they picking this, you know what I'm saying? But we got to believe that there will be, with this level of investment, there will be some good that comes out of this.
So we had a comment from one of our for Eugene. He says, yeah, so why do we have to drive to the suburbs to go to Target? So I guess he like saying the black community, why they got to drive all the way to the suburbs just to go to Target?
I mean, because a lot of times they don't feel that it makes sense for them to have their company, their business in your community financially. Is it going to cause more damage? Is it going to cost more? A lot of companies, do you know a lot of companies can fall under bankruptcy because of the theft that's been taken out of their stores, where they're actually losing more than they're gaining. So a lot of that takes to come to play. But see, I guess I understand what Lovely T was saying. I get that. I get that. I just think that when these organizations have already existed, and you don't see the change from what they're doing now in the community, or I'll say this, those same things are still a struggle for Black people, which is education, financial, and health. When they don't see those, my thinking would be, why would I go to you now? Why would I put money when I allocate? And you may be able to say, oh, well, this little company on a small level, they are doing some things, but if they had a little bit more money, they can do the most. And I get that. But I'm just saying that these things of poverty or these things, atrocities in our community has been going on, whether it be no education or lack of
health services,
the health. I'm just saying, in jobs. Why, if you haven't made a big difference now, I don't know if I will go down your road, because I'm really looking for change. So my change would be is that we sit down, we come together, because listen, if you care enough to give me $10 million, you should care enough of how it's going to be planned out. Like we was talking about the vaccination, you should care or look close to say how the dollar is going to be spent to make sure it's really helping in those areas. You get what I mean? Not just say, hey, I'm gonna write a check. I don't want your money if you're going to say, I'm just gonna write you a check and keep it moving. You know, I mean, you know what I mean? I would want you to, well, let me write that. I still would take your check even if you did. You know, let me rephrase that. I had to rethink that thought, you know, again. But
maybe they've seen you in the community and you have a portfolio that speaks for itself. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have to go through the whole process of doing focus groups in the community, because your organization has already done that. Your organization already has a plan, you know what I'm saying, of how money can get to the masses. All they need to do is give you the money.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna make sure that when that money's been poured out, that I can put my address up there or get on this list. But see, that's the thing. So all I'm saying is that my concern is making sure that you see the reform with the dollars that's been spent or donated back into the Black or the African American community for a change. So it's not going to just be about dealing with race. And listen, you can't put a dollar amount on that. Racism is going to exist till we all die. It's not going anywhere. No matter, I don't know how much money you can put towards it, but you can change the behavior of a person to some degree in terms of how they live, you know what I mean, their educational levels, and then you looking at me as equals. Which probably would never happen.
I don't think that would never ever
the equal thing probably would never happen. But I'm just saying, though, that's when you talking $10 million, when you talking $1 billion, that's 14 trillion. You need to sit back. That's a lot of money for you never. And listen, I will be very upset if you put that much money in the community and we've not seen any change.
Well, and here's the other piece to that, Tone. It's going to take both sides, okay? Because they can invest that money and you can have the opportunity set up. But like you say, as a people, we can't take that money and just go buy Gucci everything and, you know what I'm saying? Bags and bags of marijuana. And I know that's not all of us as a people, but you know what I mean? Like we have to be on it enough to know that this is an opportunity. And take advantage of this opportunity for the long term, not the immediate gratification stuff, but the long term. And my fear is that, you know, this opportunity is going to graze by a whole lot of us. So I do hope that as these companies, whatever the hell their motive may be, when that money becomes available, people need to educate themselves on how to get act, because that's another thing. A lot of times money just sits because people don't even know that it's out there.
That's right.
Because they're waiting for somebody to come to them and knock on their door and say, okay, here's $50,000. No, you have to go out there and get the information and do the work. Yes, it's a 20-page application, but so what? What else you doing? It's also $50,000 or $100,000. So do it, you know. So I just hope that our people are you know, keen enough, are up on it enough to take advantage of these opportunities as they begin to come forth.
And that's true. That's what's up. So guys, we just talking and you know, what do you think about that? You know, how would you spend over $300,000 if you had that reparation, if it went through. Leave your comments. What would you do with that money? Or do you think that's a smart thing to do? Send checks, direct deposit, and people's. Do you know how many people gonna get robbed going to? Oh my God! It'll be a mess. Now here's the thing. If you really wanted to get at the people the wrong way, send them $350. Send them $300,000, 300,000 to their bank account. You gonna really see. You gonna really see some mess then. You might. I mean, that body count gonna be so high. But my thing is that you know. Just we got to do it smart. It has to be done wise. It has to be done and thought out. It has to be thought out where you can actually see that you're making a difference in a positive way in our community. So shout out and kudos to those who have donated to the community because they do believe in change and not into just donating money just to say they put their name on the list to make them look good for future endeavors. You know what I mean? So shout out to those who are doing it. Guys, listen, we're gonna get off the pod.
That's right, guys. We thank you.
This short pod this time.
Yeah, we thank you guys for watching. We want you guys to share. We want you guys to go to our YouTube channel. It's at the Round Table Podcast Official. You can also check our website out. We'll go ahead and we'll add we got the link up there on the screen now, guys. Go to our website, go to our YouTube, subscribe on our YouTube channel, share this, please, guys, share this. And we thank you guys.
And guys, one other thing that I will say is that you can actually see us live on our website. So if you know someone who may say, well, I can't watch it because it's on YouTube, Facebook, and I don't have a Facebook. Where they can actually go to our website and it'll be streaming on the website. So guys, we put the website up for you guys. It's up now for you guys to look at it. So if you would like to watch our podcast, and we're going to be kicking off to radio podcast real soon. But you can actually go to our website and watch the podcast live on the website. So guys, listen, we love you guys. Guys, we tell you to stay safe. We really mean it. Because listen, there's only one of you and you have to make the right decisions.
That's right.
That you do. Guys, we'll see you next Sunday at 4:30.
Can I say a quote real quick?
Go ahead.
So this quote is from it's actually from Theodore Parker back in 1853, but it was first popularized by Martin Luther King Jr. and then later by Obama. And the quote is, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." So
wow,
yeah, that's really
right
good.
There. That's a good one. Hey, we're gonna end on that one.
We're gonna end on that note.
All right, peace out.
Black girls rock, baby.
That's right. Black girls. That's right. All right.